What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Duran Duran, and we're going back to their 1983 Seven and the Ragged Tiger album. As I mentioned in a couple reactions already, this has been a very nostalgic journey because there's been a few tunes that I didn't realize I knew, but once they started, they triggered memories of hearing the songs on the radio. So again, it's been very enjoyable, but also very nostalgic. And we're up to the penultimate tune, which is a tune a number of you have mentioned in advance that is particularly good, so I'm excited for this one. It's Tiger Tiger. Now I'm a historian, and I have a minor as an undergrad in anthropology, and anthropology informed my graduate research to a significant degree. So basically I'm a historian and anthropologist, but I do have some exposure to and experience with literature in a more proper sense. So I'm aware of the Blake poem from, I think it's like the late 18th century, like 1794, 98, something like that. But yeah, Tiger Tiger, although I think it's spelled differently. But yeah, Tiger Tiger Burning Bright is a phrase I know comes back at least a couple times in the poem. Admittedly, I don't remember the full progression of the poem or its underlying themes, so perhaps those will come into play here. Perhaps it's just a phrase sort of taken from that context and then otherwise running in a different direction. But yeah, without other context to work from here, and without the full poem in my head, I'm not sure I can speculate further, other than, again, there may be a direct connection there, or it just could be the use of a sort of like a phrase with some cachet. It has a sort of like a literary quality. Sometimes repetitions, for whatever reason, they lend a sort of greater gravity to the whatever the concept that you're referring to. So yeah, we'll have to see how it manifests, but let's get to it. This is Tiger Tiger by Duran Duran on their 1983 album Seven and the Ragged Tiger. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That came in really hot on the low end. Of the way. Make sure that doesn't. Woof. I didn't have any expectations, and I'm still surprised. The tone changed notably. I was about to say that kind of really hot and high synth line almost sounded like something you might hear in a techno track, which, that's years away at this point. But this is like... I can't comment when a sax is playing. This does not sound as early as 93. This... I mean, the cinematic scope of that, like the string, like synth line. some change or like jiggle its keys in its own pocket. That was incredible. I realized, maybe like a minute ago that wait, this might be an instrumental, but it was short. Like I didn't realize it was going to be that short, but that was incredible. And the texture of that piece, like the different layers, like the synth work, the bass was popping away. I mean, honestly, there are a couple tunes that I was going to compare it to along the way, and then again, like tone shifts happened. Like at first, it had this kind of like smooth and soulful sort of feeling, and it almost gave me kind of like a Save a Prayer sort of vibe. But then it went into the next section, and it sort of had a different feel, like a bit like almost like contemporary jazz, kind of like urban jazz sort of feel. And in a way, like I started thinking about the Notorious album. But it was still different from that. It wasn't the same vibe as that. So, yeah, I gotta be honest, like, that was a really cool tune and, unique. I'm not gonna use that word because, again, it literally means one of a kind. And, I've seen Duran, or I've heard Duran do exceptional tunes, instrumental tunes before. But that was really cool. And the sax, like, I'm not just a sucker for sax. Like, I am. Like, it's an element that will always grab my attention when it's used in a song, but the particular writing and performance of that sax piece, or that sax line in the tune was incredible. So yeah, I don't know who exactly was performing that, but yeah, someone do let me know, shout it out if you are aware. Yeah, that was an incredible tune. So again, it makes me wonder, an instrumental tune, you have greater license to name it. Now, obviously, you can name any tune anything you want, and ultimately, just because a tune doesn't have words doesn't mean it doesn't have a particular feeling or atmosphere or tone that would be more appropriate with one name than another. But again, I think you do have more freedom or more range in terms of how you might name a tune. So to name it Tiger Tiger and seemingly to make reference to the Blake poem does make me wonder, like, what the sort of the impetus or the sort of inspiration to name it that was. So let me know if you have some insight there. Let me know if you have some insight about the sax player or any other aspect of the production of the tune. And then we'll be on to the next one last time, or the next one last time. We'll be on to the last one next time. Yeah, and that is The Seventh Stranger. Now, I did react to a live version of this from the Arena album, so I have heard the tune before, but as I mentioned when I finish that reaction, it'll be interesting to kind of work backward and to then hear the studio one in contrast to the studio or the live performance. So yeah, that's what we got next time. We'll be done with this album. Not sure if there's any bonus material. Someone let me know if there is, but yeah, getting to the end of a few Duran albums now, so, beginning to think about the different albums, not only in time, as I've mentioned a lot recently, but, in a way, comparatively, I've enjoyed pretty much everything I've heard, but at the same time, like, there are some tunes, and by extension, some albums that have perhaps, like, hit me a little harder in certain moments, so, although even as I begin to say that, it's like, yeah, but, like, there's been a few of those experiences on, like, every album, so, yeah, at some point I might make some videos where I talk about the albums overall and potentially, compare them, contrast them, not necessarily just, on a like rating or like a grading scale, but more in terms of like what the album, said to me sonically and, what I took away from Simon's lyrics from the different songs and so on. So, yeah, we'll do that at some point, but still a lot of tunes to go through and some bonus tracks on some of these albums. So let me know what you think of this one. Let me know if there's anything in particular to think about as I go to listen to the studio version of The Seventh Stranger. Other than that, I will see you next time. Peace.